So the state of Illinois is known for many, many things. Chicago Cubs, Chicago Blackhawks, the birthplace of our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln. So today we're gonna try 3 different Illinois bourbons and a hibiscus bourbon cocktail and see if it's any good. So why do we decide to do 3 Illinois bourbons for?
Because we already have them.
Yay, no money spent.
I did have to get hibiscus flowers.
You spent a whole $5.
Yep.
Okay, so what are we gonna drink today, Riley?
All right, we've got the Koval Bourbon,
Yep.
which we tried in the sampler pack.
Yes.
We've got the Blaum Brothers Bourbon, which you will find in our local bourbons episode.
With Leandro from Educated Barfly.
Yeah. And then we have the Jeppson's Bourbon. This is the company that distributes Malort, that makes and puts Malort on the market.
Yes.
This is the only bottle on the table we haven't yet opened.
Nope.
And I believe this was a gift from Leandro.
It was, because when he was in Chicago, he decided to buy us a full bottle of that and Malort.
Yes.
And we've been waiting.
Sadist.
He's still a good guy. So, yeah, we're gonna try all 3 of these and make a hibiscus bourbon cocktail, which you found.
Yes, I was Googling fun bourbon cocktails, unique bourbon cocktails, something other than your standard.
Right.
This one looked good. It was hot out today, so it sounded very refreshing. And it used orgeat, which we already made. So,
Perfect.
Again, using items that you already have prepared.
Exactly. Because you don't need to keep buying new bottles and make, well, sometimes you have to make like maybe a syrup or something like that.
Right.
But, all right, let's go and just try the thing we have not tried yet.
Right.
I honestly, I have no idea about this. So this does say it's blended straight, a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys and all aged minimum 4 years.
Yes. Does that mean it's distilled in Illinois? Does that mean it's made by Jeppson's? We don't know. I could do some more research.
Okay. Smells like bourbon.
Yeah. Does not have a Malort finish.
It does have a pretty hot, like, ethanol smell to it.
Yes, because it is 50%.
Okay, it is 50.
Yes.
Yep.
So the Jeppsons and the Blaum Brothers are both coming in at 50%.
Yep.
And then Koval, I believe, is 47.
I mean, it has your standard whiskey bourbon notes, char, some little bit of vanilla.
Yep.
So yeah, let's give it a try.
It is spicy.
It's spicy, but it's still pretty sweet though also. Definitely got hot tense in your mouth because of the 50%. Yeah, it's not pretty good.
That's a winter warm-up.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
like October, November,
Yeah,
can't sit by the campfire.
Yeah, or if it's cold outside and you're trying to put something in your eggnog.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
It is better than I expected.
I mean, with my second sip, because like your first sip, you kind of like, oh, okay. But this has some good like richness kind of notes to it.
Yeah.
A little bit of cherry in there. All right, now we're gonna do Blaum Brothers. And if you're not familiar with them, they're out of Galena, Illinois, while these other 2 are in Chicago.
Yep.
So Galena is on the west side of Illinois, 17 minutes away from us here in Dubuque.
And this one smells vastly different than the Jeppsons. The Jeppsons, I feel like, is like a generic whiskey smell. Like if you think of whiskey,
That's what, yeah.
that's what it is. This one is more unique.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more grass notes than the...
Yeah. Yep.
Still smells hot though.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And their mash bill is something different in a good way, like not a bad way. It's like, it's so different than a lot of other bourbons that you have around. Like, I mean, this is a $50 bottle. It's definitely a lot more unique in that price range than the other.
This one is very grassy. It tastes grassy, it smells grassy. But then there is the dried kiln corn.
Yeah. And you can almost kind of think about it. It's almost like kind of like this weird kind of almond dry flavor too, you know, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But to me, it just smells like harvest season.
Right. All right, and let's try Koval. Again.
I love the little guy.
I just wish every distillery would do little guys.
I understand why they don't.
Oh, I know. Yeah, 100%. This just has... Like, cotton candy is not the right word, but it has that kind of...
See, I just smell nail polish remover.
All 3 of these are just completely different.
They're wildly different.
And they're all 3 good in their own right. scenarios.
Like this one is a little bit more floral, has some honey characteristics.
And that might be like kind of like the cotton candy smell I'm kind of getting, because the sweetness is completely different.
Yeah.
And it smells, and I don't mean this in a negative sense, but it almost kind of smells like manufactured sweetness.
Yeah.
A little bit.
It doesn't taste.
It doesn't taste it like that. Yeah.
It's crazy how different bourbon can be.
I don't even know how much a bottle of Koval is, a big boy. I'm going to assume it's probably closer to the $45 range. Yeah, so the dollar price, Jeppson's is 25 to 30. It is a little bit more your like entry level, easygoing, kind of like.
See, I don't agree that it tastes easygoing. The price point is more easygoing.
Maybe that's what it is.
It's because it's literally half the price of the other two.
Right, because the Koval at a full bottle is 55 and Blaum is 50, and they taste more complex than the Jeppsons.
Yes.
So what we're gonna try now is we're going to make a hibiscus bourbon cocktail. Riley's going to blind taste test them, see if she can tell the difference, and yeah, we'll go from there to give them a try. So let's make a hibiscus bourbon cocktail. What a fucking boring generic name for a drink. So this recipe is kind of interesting. It's a lot more syrup. So in theory, it should be sweeter than most other cocktails with such little lemon juice. But how did you make the hibiscus syrup? Because the website that you found this on did not show you how to make it, right?
Yeah, and they said they used hibiscus petal powder instead of actual hibiscus petals.
Sure.
So I used hibiscus petals. Essentially, I made a tea and then made the simple syrup out of that 1-to-1. I use approximately 4 tablespoons of flour per cup of water.
Good looking color. It's deep purple red.
Yes, this is very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
Shall we?
Instantly know which one that is.
Instantly know.
This is a very sweet cocktail.
Yup.
It is not quite balanced.
Nope.
You could use another probably ounce of lemon juice and be good.
It'd be interesting just not to use overshot at all and see what it would taste like.
Yeah, I think it'd be a lot fresher.
Mm-hmm.
But I do like the complexity of the almond in there.
I maybe like a 1/4 ounce.
Yeah, cut back on it a lot. But it's a good start.
Anyways, let's not talk about how to make this. We'll figure that out on our own. Post it on Instagram if we do.
Yeah. This one tastes better.
Okay.
So the first one, the hibiscus flower and the bourbon were reacting in such a way that it tasted grassy. And I mean, that tells you what bourbon it is.
Yeah.
If you were paying attention. Obviously. So that definitely was not the best bourbon choice for this cocktail.
I agree.
This one was a lot more, I feel like this one was more balanced.
Yep.
I also feel like there wasn't, the bourbon didn't impart anything particular on it. So it was very simple and just a little bit of whiskey flavor here and there. Yeah, let's go with this last one. Okay. That's the middle ground of these two. You do still get the graininess from the bourbon.
Right.
It's still not as sweet as the first one.
Right. The third one almost has like an almond bark kind of flavor to it.
The last one?
Mm-hmm, the last one.
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying.
Because that almond hits harder and richer and deeper. So whatever two these are, whatever you work on that, balance it out just a little bit more, I think it'd be a really good cocktail.
Ethanol here, which is going to cut the sweetness, but you didn't really have a whole lot of other particular flavors or very specific flavors that would pull out because it is blended bourbon.
Right.
So it just tastes like this, which I feel like is the best option for this cocktail because the high octane alcohol level of it, without the extra sweetness or flavor, balances out the sweetness in this cocktail.
Right.
It lets the syrups do their thing.
Right.
Whereas these two higher quality bourbons makes it a little off.
Absolutely.
I want to know what they used to make this cocktail from the start. Like,
what bourbon?
What bourbon they recommended.
Yeah. They just did bourbon.
Yes. Well, I mean, they may have specified. But
in the written part, yeah.
This one has to be Blaum. This one has to be. These two, the two outsides, taste very similar. One is just slightly more muted.
Right.
In its flavors. This one I feel like is Blaum because higher alcohol content and the flavors are bigger when you sip it by itself. Would you put this guy here? I'm gonna lock that in.
You got one right.
This one?
Nope.
What? This one?
Yep.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess that makes sense because this one is the lowest alcohol content. But like, huh?
I know. It's really weird, right?
This bourbon tastes literally nothing like what you taste in here.
Yeah. The start of this is a good baseline. It just needs a little bit of working, but I think I like the flavors of the hibiscus with the bourbon, with the orgeat. The orgeat gives kind of like a nice mouth feel, kind of like a little good texture, silkiness to it. So definitely this cocktail does matter. I just don't think the Blaum Brothers meshes well with the hibiscus and the orgeat in these ratios. I think the Koval has the best flavor profile matching with all of them for sure.
Yeah.
The Jeppsons, I think you could work on it even more.
Yeah.
But I think if we were going to make this cocktail for each one of these, I bet they would be different specs.
Probably. Well, I mean, it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to cut back on the sweetness, you could probably do sour specs as both, and it would be okay.
Give this a try. We'll post it on Instagram if we do make it kind of like more approachable for our needs. Check out our review for Koval. That was a fun episode. Anders gifted us a little sample pack and see what we think of all three different samples that we got. We got a rye and a 4 grain in this one. So yeah, till next time guys, cheers.